which is always fun. Allison, maybe you can give me a heads up if I'm on.
About what? You're on.
Facebook.
You're on. Upper left corner says you're on.
Okay. Perfect. I don't know if I do it right, but I think I do. I just close out the window every time I
Yeah,
do
you
this.
just closed out the window.
Okay, good. So I don't have feedback.
Right.
Fantastic. Top of the hour, 7 o'clock, everybody. It is Shredders Unite Biz Call. Thank you, one and all. It is a beautiful day here in Chicago. I think yesterday it was 50, 48 degrees, 51, raining. It's 80 and sunny. So crazy, crazy weather. But I'm excited that we're catching up with the rest of the country. Before I get started, I wanted to get out of the way some of our disclaimers, and that is our partner company, Isagenix, that we have partnered with. We use 4 of their products as part of our protocol with ERSHRED. That is our elimination reset protocol. And that is, if you hear any testimonials this evening regarding weight loss or energy, or that's an individual's personal testimonial. There's no guarantee. We can't make any claims. There is no diagnosing. There is no curing. And there's obviously no, what's the other one, Allie? Diagnose, cure, and prevent.
Preventing.
Anyway,
diagnose, cure, prevent.
I got it. But we cannot
And-
diagnose, prevent, or cure.
And we
any
also
disease.
don't make any guarantees on the financial side.
I was going to get there. So on the income side, if we talk about that, there are no guarantees to that either. It's dependent upon the individual's experience, their skill set, their ability to go to work. Preface that with their ability to go to work and how much, obviously effort they put into it. That said, we want to get started. I want to be accountable to everybody this evening and your time. And what I thought is Sarah O'Bannon's on. I've got Mimi, I've got Allie. I have some amazing guests coming on. What I would like to do as they're coming in is I want to make this about you guys, because we are here to serve you. And that is this call. I always like to say, inspire, we share because we care. But the reality is that the business side of the business is just that. It's a business. And when I thought about this today, I was talking to Suzanne Rothman. I was talking with Peter Greenlaw. I talked with my wife about this. Hey, Ricky, I'm good to see you. Simply, I think we have the single best opportunity that I've ever seen. I mean, it literally is mind-boggling to me when you really condense it. We get healthy and get paid in doing so. So who are we looking for? We're looking for like-minded individuals who aspire to live a better life through health and get paid for just sharing it. That's pretty cool. Get healthy and at the same time, learn how to create an additional stream of income. It doesn't get any better than that. So I wanted to get one thing out of the way before we get started, and that is, from my view, Suzanne said, hey, own your space and give some kernels of wisdom, because you experienced it. Sometimes I go off the deep end and talk too much economic garbage. If I do that, my wife will signal me, maybe Mimi will slap me. Bottom line is this. I just realized, even though I feel like a young spring chicken at 60 years old, I had to recognize the other day that, dang, I'm older than most in this group or getting it up to that upper edge. That said, I've got a lot of life experience. I've seen a lot. So when I assume people understand or they have a concept, it's because it's through my experience and my lens of life. It's what I've experienced. I'm like, what do you mean you don't remember that movie or you don't remember that song? When I talk about our opportunity, I reference a lot of times in terms of things that are potentially available to us. In this case, our industry of network marketing, and again, I made that disclaimer on income. Whoa, what happened? Honey? There, you're back again.
What? You're there.
No, sorry about that. No, the screen went to my total mail thing. It just, without touching anything, it just totally went
I
blank.
feel like we need a Mercury retrograde disclaimer too. In
You
case
got
we
your
have tech
Richie.
problems. It is the fault of the planets.
Okay, so we're back again. All right, getting back to our special opportunity. Our industry of network marketing, which Isagenix, our partner company, is part of, thrives in a bad economy. I was taught this by Tony Escobar. I'm brand new to network marketing back in 2000, 2001, 2002, and I'm listening to the old sages. And they say our industry thrives in a bad economy. When the economy is good, we don't do as well. People aren't as interested in sharing. They're not as interested in getting paid for sharing their experience. So I just want to set the table, if you will. I know for a fact that we are in for a very tough economic time. It might be equal to what we experienced in the 70s and 80s. It's too early to tell. But the one thing that we have in common is that we have inflation, and that robs us all of our spending power. With that said, it doesn't turn around overnight. So I'm talking to our Susan Rothman on our medical advisory board. We're talking, and she's asking me a question about the economy. And I said, you've got to be prepared that at minimum, it's going to suck for 5 years at minimum. She goes, you're pretty certain and confident when you say that. And I said, it's a given. She goes, what do you mean by that? And I said, you cannot put inflation back in the bottle and get the economy growing again until we go through a recession and we go through some economic pain. We're not even there yet. It's just beginning to start. This process, it's been happening, but they're not going to say on television, hey, the world's ending, guys, prepare for the worst. You got to sell, you got to prepare your portfolio. They don't tell you until it's already happening. Today, I noticed on CNBC talking about the stock market for the first time. This is literally, we're into this almost a year of declining earnings, inflation creeping back up. They acknowledged that we're in a tough market. The market's down 20%. Now they're telling you it's going to be a tough market. Where were they a year ago? Telling you to get ready? No. So we can either put our heads in the sand like an ostrich and say, oh, woe is me. This is awful. I can't believe how much I'm spending on groceries. I can't believe how much I'm spending on gasoline, utility bills, etc. Inflation hits everyone. We can either do that, or I am an eternal optimist. I would like to say, what if this is maybe your next chance to hit it big? And what I mean by that is when the economy gets tough, it's the great equalizer. I'm not talking about the super wealthy, but for the majority of us, when the times get tough, it's going to hit everybody. For the people who are wealthy that have the ability to invest, they're going to be complaining about their investments in 401k and lost money, etc. My point being is that the single best opportunities in my lifetime to make a huge advancement in my standard of living have occurred out of a deep recession, or you could say even depression. Now, I wasn't there in 1929 and the early 30s, but I lived through 1987 stock market crash. I graduated college in 1984. So I was there the 1980, 81, 82 timeframe, 83 timeframe. The economy didn't start getting good to 1984. 1994, Mexican peso crisis. 2001, internet bubble and the craze of year 2000 crushed the economy. 2008, we had the major issue with our mortgage-backed securities that literally almost, banks can't go bankrupt, but it almost totally destroyed our economy. We had to have amazing infusion by our government to keep things afloat. But we went through some difficult times. What can I point out is that network marketing companies, Isagenix, got started in the midst of a recession, 2001 to August of 2002. We were literally in the throes of the internet bubble, year 2000. 2008, Isagenix was doing great. 2009, 2010. 2016, 17, 18, 19, the economy's good. We weren't doing as well. What I'm getting at now is I truly believe that for the first time in the last 5 years, maybe 6 years, because we've had a good economy for a while now, guys, people are going to be picking up an interest when you say you are getting paid for getting healthy. You share your story and you can get your products paid for, or you can actually make additional income by utilizing your story and enjoying these products. You're going to get people listening for the first time. So here's the deal. People are just now acknowledging that their pocketbook is hurting. They're starting to recognize that they have to do something else. They recognize that, oh my gosh, I either got to cut back on a lot of things or I need to make more money. And that's always tough. This is the time to hit it hard. It's May. We have the summer months ahead of us. You can grow your business in this business model in less than, I would say, give yourself 2 to 3 years. That's comfortable. I just got done saying it's going to be a 5-year minimum tough sledding for the economy. You've got 5 years. Most of the big time income earners in our company grew this between 2002 and 2007. By 2007, Peter Greenlaw was on literally just easy street. Not to say easy street, but he did the hard work in the early years. Jimmy Smith, and you can go on, the Escobars and so forth, even Sean and Crystal. What did they do that was different? When everybody was woe is me, they took action. That's the biggest thing. We can tell you how to do it, what to say. This is my experience. But unless you get off that couch and unless you get out there and talk to people, you're not going to make a difference. You're not going to have an opportunity. And this is my goal. Susan and I are again talking, and I've said this to my wife. It isn't what we say, it's what we do. So the best thing that I can do for you guys, the best thing that Susan can do, best thing my wife can do, Mimi, the rest, is be an example to others. If people start seeing you becoming successful with your health, they're going to take notice. If they start noticing that you're making additional income, they're going to want to know how and why. What the heck is going on? We've got the two combined. It's a perfect storm. So that's it for me. Tough times, great for our industry, but we have to have a positive attitude. We have to have posture. We believe in our experience, our results, certainty, and we have to obviously take action. And that's basically it. So without further ado, I would like to offer up initially, is there anybody that would like to share any wins they've had in the past week? You don't have to. If you'd like to, you can jump on. So I promised Mimi.
Yeah.
You want to come on now? Fantastic.
Yeah, I'm ready to come on now. There's a couple of things that I just wanted to say that I've noticed, and that is for the entire time I've been on the Isagenix products, my sister has said, just keep going. Everybody's watching. And I didn't believe her. But the truth is, this past week, I just happened upon my results for the collagen. And I was like, oh my gosh, I really did get results, because I didn't think I had. You know, I was like, no, this isn't really for me. But here's what happened. There's one lady who was 6 years behind me in high school. I never even knew her, but she has been following me on Facebook since I was back in 2020, when I was trying to rescue this little puppy that was out in the woods. And she contacted me when I posted my results and said, hey, by the way, we're having a special. It was so simple. So that generated 2 enrollments. And the second enrollment had already shared my results to her mom before they knew that I was doing the business. And her mom went to Isagenix website and enrolled herself. So there's an opportunity lost. I think it's important when we share, that we say to the people that we're sharing to, by the way, this is my company, and I've branded, see, like my brand is Nutritional Blessings. I haven't ever represented myself as a business owner up until recently, and like real recently when I learned this lesson, because I didn't want people to think I was hawking products. But the thing is, I'm a product of the products. I have completely turned my life around simply by using these products, and the ERSHRED is what brought me to full body mental and spiritual health. And so people that have witnessed that and have seen my journey, they're watching. And I think it's important now for me to step up and say, this is a beautiful thing that I have. It's a business that serves my health, that has changed my life, that's brought me back to who I truly am. And so I'm going to start representing in that way now, because it could have been 3 enrollments in 1 week. I'm not talking about the bonuses lost or anything like that. I'm talking about the energy around how I have presented and kind of hidden behind the, what do they call that? Marketing, what is that called, Ali, when we don't mention the name of Isagenix? It's kind of like the old style way. Dang it, I knew I would forget that word. Mystery,
It's
not mystery, but like create some mystery.
Curiosity, like curiosity,
Curiosity.
piquing interest.
Curiosity marketing. I've never been good at curiosity marketing, because I'm out there. I want to be who I am and talk to people about real things, So that was one thing I learned last week, that I'm to the point now, and I'm mature enough in my journey, that I feel it's really important for us to, when we do share with someone, especially one-on-one or privately in Messenger, that we do say, listen, this has now become my business interest, as well as what I can testify has changed my life. And then come just at least share that part, so that when they share to someone else, hey, I'm about to try this product, contact my friend Mimi, because she's actually doing this as a business, and I would love for you to go with me. I don't even talk about bring to and you can get your products free yet, because I want people to come in and experience what I did. Another thing that I did learn a couple of weeks ago, when I shared about my mental health, that I had actually, I felt, I don't call myself a recovering alcoholic. I don't say that I've come up and out of depression. I call myself healed and recovered. And so I said something, I just made a side comment to a friend, and she said, oh, believe me, I witnessed it. She said, I didn't know what you were doing, but I witnessed that. You changed right before my eyes. So people are watching, and people will eventually want to know. But with those 2 enrollments last week, I also had a few other wins, and that is in our travel training. I really paid attention. And when Crystal offered the idea that we should just get out there and start doing reels, I went out the very next day. Now, I don't go live and try to do them, and I don't plan them. I'm not a techie type person with stuff gonna pop on the screen. I just want to be me. And I had one reel. I did like probably 15 videos, just holding my camera out and walking and talking and looking at, I was looking at the sky and the trees and showing people flowers like I do. And then I came home and I cut them up, and just, you don't even have to cut them up. You can basically introduce a 30-second video into a 15-second story or reel, and it will do the trimming for you. You know what I mean? So I did, like, I think I did 8 of them that over the next 2 days. 2 of them are already 1.1K views, 1.4K views, and one of them is 27.6 thousand views. So it happens that people are now seeing us, and I'm not talking about just my reels. ERSHRED's starting to be pushed, and the more people engage and stay for the entire amount of time that you're on, that 15 to 30 seconds, the iBots see that, the algorithms notice that, they start pushing it in front of more, because they want people to stay on the reels, stay engaged. They see who's scrolling past without listening too. So when I saw which energy was successful with that, I ended up with 3 or 4 people. Well, it says 184 people. I looked tonight, 184 people started following you. I don't even know where they are, who they are. Nobody's called me. Like, hello. But they're there. They hit the follow button. And it's just because I went out and I was myself and I had fun and I didn't worry too much about it. This is all going to translate. I'm consistently doing it. If somebody else wants to share, but I have a couple ideas that I know work for me. They're little bitty hacks, And I don't have time to learn techie stuff. I do know this.
I want to learn your hacks. I do want to learn your
Okay.
hacks, maybe.
So-
I do want to ask you, can I ask you a question?
Sure.
Okay. You mentioned that people are watching and that you had learned
Mhm.
this from your sister, even though you really didn't believe it. And
No, I
my
didn't.
wife, Allie told me that a long time ago. Don't worry, people are watching. Like, who's going to watch me doing a Facebook Live? No one's going to watch this stuff. Anyway, that said, first question I wanted to ask is the woman today that signed up or is going to be signing up.
Yeah.
How long had she been watching you?
Oh, this is somebody
Oh, she's frozen.
She'll come back.
She said that that this was gonna possibly happen. So there you go, Mercury.
Okay.
Blaming it on Mercury.
Oh,
Dawn.
I think
man.
that, I think
There she's back.
oh, she's back.
We lost you for about 10 seconds.
Oh,
So start
sorry.
from the
So this-
question.
I started attending church in Miami when I was living in a Spanish only home, and I was really shut down just emotionally and psychologically. But she goes to that church, and she just happened upon the church service, and then she went to my page and saw my story, and she sent me a messenger. What is this ERSHRED? Is it a product? Is it something you buy? Is it a program? Is it? And I was like, who is this lady? I finally connected when we actually had some voice clips, and she's like, oh no, you're a friend of Jane's. I go to Granada. I'm like, you're kidding me. I haven't been to Granada church in 4 years. 4 years. And so, she now she's interested. Now we set up an appointment today, but she got called into a conference meeting. We have so much in common in reference to the things we've had to walk through separately, but now together, because she really wants to feel better. And I'm so honored that she knew me back then, and that I've only just spoken to her yesterday and today. It's a genuine thing. If you lead with your heart and you are genuine with what I'm saying, when I'm genuine with who I am and what I say, it doesn't matter how planned out it is. People are going to come. People are watching. People eventually will come. So 6 reels I did yesterday hit the 100. I hit the 100 view mark within 2 hours. Today, I've hit well over 100. When I got home, I've hit 200 on 3 of the 6 that I did this morning. And that was just for a 1-day deal, but they stay on the reels. The stories disappear.
So
in
is
24 hours.
this on Instagram?
No, it's on Facebook.
It's on
But
Facebook?
I put them on
Okay.
Instagram too. Instagram is not, I don't have as many people like following me, but I consistently go on and I talk about my real life. My cat, who's a rescue, I sprinkle him in there. I don't go in and promote and market. I go in and share. And by sharing myself and being a little off and dropping things and snorting when I laugh, people are like, oh my gosh, this girl, I got to see what she's going to do next. And they hit the follow button. So just be who you are. Be who you are. Now, my stories are usually personal, and I'll throw in there every now and then something about ERSHRED. But I've learned that if I do ERSHRED, and you're allowed to do so many for so many seconds each, if I do consistently nothing but ERSHRED, my people, I watch it. I check in a couple times a day in that 24 hours. Check back in your story. If you see 27 views and then it drops to 9 after the second one, you better figure out that maybe they've seen it before. They don't want to see the whole thing of all ERSHRED. Throw something personal in there first, get them started. Then drop something unique about what's going on that's different. Then throw in ERSHRED. That's how I'm doing it. Because, and if I go back to my story and people have dropped off, I delete that. I save the video, delete that, put that one into the reels, and then I let my story flow for the rest of the day. And I go back and check on it before they're all gone. And I'll save them all. They go.
I have to ask.
What?
Who taught you this?
Me. This is what happens. I take things personally. I'm learning the 4 agreements and I'm still taking things personally. When I go to my story and the first one is like all these hearts flowing up and I'm like, oh, 75 people, what? and then something else comes on, and then it's like 4. I'm like, oh no, what happened? What did I do? So now I'm starting to see what turns the majority off. I drop it out after I save it. You can save it to your gallery and use it another day, because it might be something really good with the right music and the right little collage and the effects. It's going to have value later. Don't consider it a loss. But if your views are dropping drastically between the first and the third part of your story, you should drop that second one out. Save it for later. Lead with it some other time. That's what I've learned. And you know where I probably learned it by being a clown, because I used to repeat the same magic show. And if a certain trick fell flat every single time, or all of a sudden the kids are skylarking and talking to mom and asking for candy, then I'm not doing my job. So I take that trick out and I don't bring it back. You know, it's garage sale material. So maybe that's where hey,
I'm amazed. One of the things I like about the I think that I call it the genius of the ERSHRED protocol is that I know we're going to win mind share because we're inviting and we're allowing people to decide for themselves. We're empowering you to figure out what works and what does not work.
Yeah.
We ask you to be on the tracks for 11 days, give us 11 days, 7 meals, then it's all up to you after that. Kind of scary, but
yeah,
just like how you've learned from how to become an expert ER shredder and find out what foods serve you.
Exactly.
You took that lesson and you applied it to these reels. You learned
and
by
I
doing
never
it.
throw things away. Don't ever throw something away if you say, oh my gosh, that didn't work. Don't throw it away, save it. Because my first dozen lives in my very first ERSHRED, I did not save them. And I wish I had now, because I could have seen how I was back then with my speech and, you know, the contortion, the twisting of my face when I spoke, and that's all gone now. I wish I had saved those. So don't critique yourself too hard. Just understand that it didn't hit on that day for that moment for those people that were there that day, but save it and go back to it, either learn from it or try again. And then you can garage sale it.
I think what I like best about you, Mimi, is you're so darn relatable. I mean, people just like you because you're just being authentic, being real. I mean, right? So you mentioned you did like 6 reels. How does that work? Can you just throw them out there all at once?
Yes, I did. And you know what I said? I said to myself, you know what? Crystal wanted us to do one a day for 7 days, or maybe Lenny said, okay, so now this is your homework. I want you to do one a day for the next 7 days. And when you come back, we'll talk about it. Well, we never got to talk about it, but my thinking is, you know, that whole concept of, what is that? Where you pile it on, like instead of 2 shares with 2, it's 4 shares to 4. You know,
it's geometric progression.
There you go. So I'm thinking to myself, hey, how about if I do 7 a day for 7 days? What would that make? So I ended up with 6 that I was able to share that I could do, because I got photobombed by garbage trucks and stuff like that. But I ended up with 6 good ones, and all with the same hat and the same shirt and more sweat as I was walking. But I liked several of them, and one of them has hit 27 point something thousand views, and 2 other ones are at over 1,000. So I don't know what, you know, like I'm not looking at numbers anymore because I got kind of sucked into that. I'm like, oh, but not anymore. So just go out and do a bunch of, hold your hand out with a phone, put it on video, do short video, short video, short video. I probably did 25 short videos and didn't like how it sounded or how my voice wigged out. And I would turn around and walk the same path and do it again and again and again. So yeah, it did take some doing, but I was determined to get 7 for 7 days. I got 6 good ones for the first day. And then the next day I did a few, and then I took a break because I was it's exhausting, but so much fun.
So can I ask you, how do you, is it everyone's different, unique, or what is your process when somebody says, I saw your reel, I saw you on Facebook, what are you doing? What do you share next?
that happened to me because I go to the Squirrels Make Me Happy group. And somebody from the Squirrels Make Me Happy group went to my page and found my reels and my story. And she contacted me on Messenger. Now she hasn't come back, but I just told her it's a nutritional protocol. It's a nutritional protocol designed to help everybody level up their health, overcome challenges of poor nutritional decisions. I think that's the video she asked about. And then a couple of people asked me about the community. What are the HOA fees? Is it a 55 and older community? I'm like, no, this is a nutritional group. So some, it just depends on what I'm asked. But I do engage with the real aspect of what I'm doing, and that it's nutrition and it's for better health. And I like the word trajectory. Change the trajectory of your life in 11 days and your future and your health. That's what we're all doing. So
I like that. Change the trajectory.
Project. If you can't say it, don't try.
I think the thing that, because we always talk about this being a journey. My light just dropped. We always talk about this being a journey of discovery. And I think one of the most crazy, wonderful things about the ERSHRED, because it didn't happen, for those that do not know, I've been with our partner company for a little over 18 years, which is insane. So I've had this amazing nutrition, yet you're always trying to improve yourself. And I wasn't there. I thought I felt pretty darn good for my age, but now this totally blew up my world. And I feel amazing, like, holy cow, I haven't felt this good since maybe my 20s. I haven't been a 32-inch waist since I was 20. But more important than that for me has been my mind. And I'm active. I want to do things. And I'm literally like coming out of my skin of, okay, what are we going to do today? What can I achieve? I admire everybody in the group. Kathy Martinez climbing the mountains, or just amazing things that people are taking on. That said, this is a trajectory. There's not an end. I feel better today, 22 months in, than I did 6 months ago or a year ago, or obviously when we first started. It's just
your
crazy.
lives are different. I saw yesterday's live next to the barbecue grill, Bob. Mm-hmm. You are not even the same person. Not even the same person. And every time we shred, we level up. You are so different in your energy and how you even speak. Like, I was like, oh my gosh, he's engaging exactly with me right now. That's what happens with us. When everything cleans and clears out, we're able to communicate. And that's why people are starting to listen.
Well, my wife and I were on our day one of our cleanse. We had a little mishap with high school kids, illnesses, whatever, but we kept the two separated. So basically this is our first day to cleanse. So we're behind the group, but we've been shredding, eating great meals for about 4 or 5 days. Today's day one. My wife joined me, which I'm really thrilled about. And it's fun if you're couples to do it together. It makes it amazing. And lots of mutual benefits. Lots of benefits. You definitely feel better the more often you do our 2-day nutritional intermittent fast. It gets easier and easier, right?
Yes.
So if you had one recommendation, now I know when you came to our community, we all were kind of grasping. I'm not feeling right. I'm bloated. Something's off. What's this crazy thing Sean's doing? Sean's coming out of his skin. He's literally like sprung from like a phoenix, from the ashes, like, oh my God, I can't believe how good I feel. And I'm scratching my head saying, dude, I just talked to you, 3 weeks ago. And what is going on, right? What do you say to someone who's brand new, who might be watching tonight, or even inside of our group, that they're just getting started? They're just on their first 7 days, 8 days. Today's day 11, I think, for the community. We're on our last day.
Yeah.
What would you share with those people in terms of what to, maybe setting expectations, or what would you recommend?
Where there are those who come in simply for the pounds and inches to be lost and to look better. But I would always say to them, you know, take it easy, follow the protocol, make sure you reach out. If you need me or anyone, go on Messenger for anything private. But the truth is, nobody knows how their body and how everything about the human experience of ERSHRED. Nobody really has the same experience. So with every single person who's about to do this or doing this for the first time, just take a step back from the numbers aspect and start understanding that things internal are really going to start shifting. And it's not just the energy of the physical body, it's the energy of the spirit and of the mind. And, you know, all of a sudden you have the intuition starts creeping in. I didn't have full on intuition in my first shred, but on my second shred, I felt like the horses could speak to me just by the way they looked and turned and how I could feel their, because horses are huge. So you have to understand, like I could stand next to him and understand that somebody was like, something's going on, I need to pay attention. The intuition, the spiritual lift, you know, when it becomes not cloudy anymore. If you stay in, just do the 11 days. If you need to see your numbers, make sure along the way that you start noticing the internal, the inner being transformation. Because sometimes that lights up and clears out before your body decides to do the work and lose the pounds and inches. You know, because, yeah, for sure.
I think that's one of the greatest things about the community is watching people almost 95, 80, 99% of the people say, I came to it because I want to lose weight. I want to have more energy, whatever, lose weight, have more energy. But I got so much more out of it. And it does come in time. It's not an easy process in the very beginning as you're going through that trajectory or transition. Yeah. But when it hits, when you come alive, you have that come alive moment, then it gets easy. And the only thing I could say is that once you come alive, that's not the final chapter. That's not the end. That's just the beginning, because as we can all attest, I mean, it's just getting better and better. So I have an idea. Maybe before I say goodnight to you for your piece, you said you had some hacks. Is there anything else that you wanted to add? You said you mentioned hacks. I wasn't sure if you got that.
Okay, so my hack is basically this. Before I go to sleep, I think, what would I like to put in my story? Or I go through my photo gallery for the last few days and say, which of these things just make my heart kind of light? Or what moments that I happen to take a photo of, whether it's with Simba or my mom or, you know, the red nose. Which of these things do I want to share with somebody about my last couple of days? And then when I choose my music, I just put one theme word or two words, like beautiful, confident it's going to bring up songs that have to do with beauty and confidence. And some songs I've never even heard of. I know the artist and I'm like, oh, cool. So you hit the play button and then you listen to the clip. And if you like it, you just tap it. And I've learned how to make the words disappear and the artist name disappear. So it's just me and my collage or my photo with the music, and I type in and I let it ride. And those are the ones, after they get posted, you hit the three dots, save video. It goes to your gallery on your phone or your computer and your iPad. And those video saves with music already in them, good to go reels. So if I have one that I've saved and I see that 100 people came on and with hearts or thumbs up, or just 100 people and they stayed to the next one, that means they listened to all of that one. That's the one that goes to reels. It's a numbers game, but at the same time, it's what I know people kind of stayed and be like, oh, that's cute. And maybe they waited till the whole song clip was over. So save them and then send them to reels. It's already done. All it is 3 taps, hit next, hit preview, put your tagline, and the first thing that they should see, because it's only going to give the viewer that first line, should be an action statement. A lot of times I say, let's shred, exclamation point. Let's shred, or do this with me, because all they're going to see is 2 words. So make it an action statement, make it personal. When people start engaging, become friends with them, people are now looking for relationships. They're not looking for flashy techno stuff. That's what I know about Instagram, for real. 2020 was about all the tech stuff. 2021 was about the flashy pop-ups, slapping of the hands. They're still doing it, but I've got it on 2 places where they're saying people are looking for friends. People are looking for a relationship. People will follow you if they see that they could probably just get to know you. So, and that's already me. I'm like, come be my friend. So
I think that's a huge observation. I think because we've all been cabin fever, stuck in because of the pandemic for the past 2 years plus. I think people are missing that. And
listen, Ricky, he's the one that inspired me with all of his TikToks. I watched him for a long time. Now I didn't really grab TikTok, but I would love to hear from you, Ricky, because you inspired me long before Crystal came on and gave us the challenge. And I watched you, and I started making sure I got notifications from you when you shared, and oh my gosh. So Ricky really helped me. He's one of my mentors, one of my check-in guys, when I got started.
It's awesome.
Amazing.
Ricky, I have not seen you in a while. What's new? Do you want to come on?
Well, I have completely moved off grid. I am completely rural now, so that's why you guys haven't seen me for a while. I didn't have any internet, and I had 1 to 2 bars in the very corner of my bedroom in the window.
Wow.
So I've been very limited. I got Starlink about 10 days ago out here, Elon Musk.
Thank you, Elon Musk. That's pretty cool.
And it is amazing. I'm hitting like 228 megabytes per second with it. I mean, it's rocking. So
that
you guys are going to start
insane. You're getting that from a satellite?
From a satellite. Like
wow.
It has completely blown my mind with this thing. And I'm doing it all.
Oops. We lost him.
He'll be
come
back.
So my wonderful wife, Allison's going to call this a Mercury retrograde moment. So what I've learned about Mercury retrograde is that that's when Mercury is descending in the horizon. It's going down. And when that occurs, there is, in my view now, Ricky's back. There's beyond a coincidence, but it affects technology. And it kind of gets a little bit wacky, but it's also good for communication.
Bad for
Ricky, we had a Mercury retrograde moment. Are you back?
I'm back. I was talking about satellites. It makes sense that we'd have a Mercury retrograde moment.
Maybe it was a spacecraft flew by or something.
There you go. Obstruction.
Another satellite got in the way. So you, now that you're back, are you going to get back? Are you going to do more TikToks, these reels? What's your game plan?
I have so many notes of videos, TikToks, reels, stories that I want to share. So now it's, after being off for a few weeks, I have to get back into my own kind of routine. And now that I've got everything settled back down, and I'm more back on my schedule and my agenda, and getting everything situated, fencing up for dogs. I bought some pigs today.
Wow.
So yeah, life's returning to normal. Like I said, I've probably got 150 different notes and ideas for reels and TikToks and things that I want to share along the way. So yeah, we just keep sharing, and Bob, just to add to kind of what Mimi was saying before, it doesn't all have to be done online. During this downtime, I mean, I'm in a very small community, and I use every opportunity I can to bring it up. Someone says, "Oh, well, I can't eat ranch dressing. It's part of my diet." Oh, that's too bad that you're on a diet. You should learn a lifestyle, and it's just a quick, easy thing. And then I had our local sheriff, McCann, come up to me the other day and go, so what do you mean eating's like a lifestyle, Ricky? I heard that you dropped about 100 pounds in 5 months. So if you notice in the group, I actually have a sheriff, John McCann, and his wife that is now in there, and they're talking to me almost every day that they see me about the shred. So I mean, it's just a matter of like you guys have always said, it's how passionate you are, how much of your story can resonate with others, how much can you relate with them, and you know, the business aspect, it's great. Don't get me wrong there, but really, and I still do it. I still get the goosebumps when I talk about it. It's when I see people that have lost that life in them, and they have that moment that they come alive. That's where my reward comes from.
That's the gratitude piece that we all talk about.
Yeah.
This is different. So in my old world, I managed money, and great stock idea, make money. What's next? Gotta make more money. What's next? And I didn't get the gratitude. It was kind of like, we like you but that's why we pay you. But I never had the sense of gratitude that we have for helping others experience the same. And that is the part. When you see other people light up, I mean, you get so excited. It's hard to put it in words, right?
It really is.
It's a triple dopamine, serotonin. I don't know where Susan's at, but it's definitely an uplift. You get a good positive injection of the feel goods.
Yes, you do.
I wanted to ask my wife this because you said it. So you talked about passion, but basically Mimi started talking about spiritual. She talked about the spirit, and I've heard this concept before with others talking about, basically their third eye, their intuition. Mimi was talking about that. That's your third eye from from a karma standpoint, right? I'm gonna get my wife to talk about this. She's like shaking her head. No, you got it wrong again. But what do you see in terms of what's happening within the community and within the group? And can you add any value? A couple of things. One, Mercury Retrograde, communication. People are coming out of the woodwork. I wanted you to talk about that. But I'd also like you to touch on the spirituality.
Okay. Which one do you want me to talk about first? The spirituality? You okay, baby?
Mm-mm. A little dry. Oh, maybe cleansing. Anyway,
Yeah.
we talk about intuition, spirituality. What is it about the cleansing? You're cleansing today with me. You've done this for years. What is it about this process that is kind of like an awakening?
As you're detoxifying your body, your physical body, you're moving into a higher frequency, or your physical body, which is just made up of energy. We know this from science. Everything at the quantum level, when all of the organs and everything is broken down, we're just energy, right? And so as you're detoxifying, the energy field, the energy body is moving into a higher frequency. It's resonating at a higher frequency. And when we're resonating at a higher frequency, we're more in tune with our own intuition. We're more in tune with nature. We're more connected to everything and everyone around us. And so, we're more likely to download wisdom, really. We're more likely to feel more present and more connected to the people who we're talking to. So whether it's in our relationships, you and I, the other day, we were at, no, I can't, I'm having like cleanse brain right now, but we were at the Botanic Gardens, and we literally, like, we read each other's mind like all the time, right? Like we finish each other's sentences. We're on the same vibration or frequency. But it was like we were at the Botanic Gardens, which is just a very high frequency space to be in and to be tapped into. And so we were interconnected. And so we were reading each other's mind. We were on the same wavelength. And so this applies in your relationships, right? In deepening your relationships and your friendships with people, but also you and I talked about the other day how this applies when you're talking to new people, to potential clients, because it gives you the ability to tap into what they're really needing and go deeper than maybe even just what they're saying, so that you can offer them a solution from the heart, because you're really, you know, you're in it with them, you're connecting with them. And this is something that, I mean, we do teach, obviously. I don't want to say you can't teach it, because you can teach it, but it's experiencing it, right? That really is going to help you to deepen your relationships with these potential clients, and even with existing clients, as you serve people who are doing the ERSHRED with you. Keeping your energy field and at a high vibration, and yourself in alignment. And part of that is what you're putting in your body, what you're eating, right? It just ripples out into all of these different areas, and it absolutely makes you more intuitive and more connected. And when you're more intuitive and more connected with, your own inner wisdom, then you're more connected with your own desires and with the things that you're passionate about and the things that you're excited about, and you start to live from that space, right? And you also, I love, we talk a lot about Mimi and how authentic Mimi is, and how Mimi started off, she talked about in this call, being afraid to just really own what it was that she was doing, that she had a business, because she was afraid. She was afraid of what people were going to think about her. And these are all, these are all things that a lot of us deal with. But when you are vibrating at this high frequency, and you are more in tuned with your true self, your true authentic self, then you feel more free to just say what you want and be who you are and do what you want, and be more, and show up really more unapologetic about the fact that you're doing the business, right? And when you show up with that sense of certainty and excitement and confidence, and you don't feel like you're having to hide who you are or what you're doing, or apologize for what you're doing, then you are going to start becoming magnetic and attracting people who also value those things, and who also think that those things are great and exciting and wonderful. I always say, if you're getting the objection of, oh, is this a pyramid scheme? Like, if you're getting that a lot, you want to really kind of look inside at, how am I presenting? How am I truly feeling? Like, am I 100% behind what it is that I'm doing, and believe in what it is that I'm doing? Because when you are, and when you're not afraid to share that, and you're not afraid of what people are going to think, right? The naysayers kind of fall away. They just do. They're not a part of your frequency. You don't call them into your world, because you are not on that frequency. So I love that, losing that opportunity to serve the woman who just went to the site on her own and signed up. I love how you kind of took that as an opportunity to self-reflect of, like, what do I need to be doing? How do I need to be showing up differently, so that that doesn't happen again? So that I show up from a space of being proud of what it is that I'm doing, right? And then all these people start following you, and you start getting all this, great stuff happening. So all of that is easier. It's easier for us to experience that confidence. It's easier for us to get in alignment with our authentic self, with our intuition, with our passions, when we are at a higher frequency, which happens by doing the ERSHRED. That's part of it. It's part of the equation, right? Meditation, there's all different kinds of things that you can do. But when we're just talking about physically supporting your body with food and detoxifying the junk, you are, you're truly supporting your, not just your physical, but your mental, emotional, which we know so many people have come alive, right? And your spiritual. So that's that's my take of what's happening.
So it's safe to say, for those out there who are just starting, when you put high quality, high vibrating foods in your body, you're clean with your diet, you're detoxing, you're doing the right nutrition with the ERSHRED, for example, you're going to be vibrating at a higher level. And when you do, well, I'm not doing the program, or I'm falling off, or maybe I'm going to go eat something that I know is not good for me. I think we all have that feeling that, oh my gosh, my energy just dropped and I want to get back up here again. And intuitively, we end up doing more of the right things and less of the bad things. And I think it's the same thing in, as you said, how we show up energetically, who we are relating to, and who we're attracting in our world. We're not attracting the people who are victims. And I have to applaud Mimi. Rather than saying I am a victim for the person going and signing up without contacting me, you didn't even mention that. There was no energy whatsoever. You immediately reversed around and said, I need to do things differently. I need to show up and be proud of who I am and tell people. And I think you've said this to me. We've all talked about this. If you make it weird, they're going to feel weird. The person you're communicating with is going to feel
100%.
weird. If you feel good, joyous, confident, you've got that posture, that certainty, they will have the same, right?
When I first started Isagenix, I did not have any of the weirdness around network marketing. I didn't know that there even was weirdness around network marketing. So I was sort of ignorance, is bliss. And I think that served me really well because I wasn't afraid to share it. I shared it with excitement, passion, confidence. I thought it was the greatest thing since sliced bread. Why wouldn't I share it? And through, enrolling hundreds of people, and 10 years later, I don't think I've ever gotten is this a pyramid scheme question. It's almost like a laser beam. They just don't come near me. You know what I mean? And I have other things that I work on. We're all growing and evolving and working on different things. But I do think that served me really well in confidently sharing it with anyone who would listen, and then just totally letting go if they weren't into it, then that's absolutely fine. That's nothing on
me. The one thing I wanted to make people aware of, if they're not aware of it yet, but you're my sage in this arena. Mercury retrograde. We always think of the bad with Mercury retrograde, meaning the technology going bananas, right? The good? What is the good part? And we both have experienced this, and it's already happening. So
there's a lot of good. It's a time to reevaluate things. It's a time to visit issues, to look at things from a new perspective, which is exactly what Mimi did. She looked at the paradigm, she looked at the way she was operating in her business, and she revisited it from a new perspective and decided to make a shift and course correct, right? And put herself on a new trajectory. So it's definitely a time when things from the past come into the present moment. And so that can be people from the past. So this is a really good time, you guys, for follow-up. This is the greatest time for follow-up ever. Because you're literally in sync with what's happening collectively. People from your past are going to come into your present. People who you talked to 6 months ago, a year ago, whatever, who were maybe interested at the time but never followed through. It's time to follow up with them now. They're going to be people who are going to revisit, come into your world. People who, you haven't talked to since high school. You haven't, whatever. You guys will start noticing this now that I'm mentioning it. You'll run into people in the grocery store who you haven't seen in a while. But it's really good time for follow up. It's a really good time to finish old projects. So maybe you had an idea that you didn't follow through. Maybe you wanted to put together a group plans or some type of a kickoff event, or do something in your business and you just didn't do it for whatever reason. It's a time to go back to old ideas that you didn't see to fruition. It's definitely a time to organize, a lot of spring cleaning, a lot of tying up loose ends. I and it's funny that I'm saying this now because I literally spent the day tying up loose ends all day, but not even consciously. Like going back and like taking care of old business kind of thing. So yeah, I mean, definitely, I'm trying to think what else. Techie stuff is gonna happen. Computers are gonna crash. Phones are gonna be weird. So like knowing that, you can say, oh, okay, Mercury's retrograde. Allie and Bob told me. Okay, I'm not gonna like freak out about it. I'm not gonna like scream. And like it will sort itself out. It always does. But make sure to save your work. Um, and yeah, I mean that's pretty much those are some of my
So,
tips. I guess.
Sarah O'Bannon had a question. Sarah, oh, she just
No,
stepped away.
not
Are you
really.
ready?
Well, first I wanted to comment, Mimi, real fast. I can tell the difference with you adding collagen. And I know it's been about the past week. I can literally see the difference. Just wanted to throw
100%.
that out at you. You can see it right in here, big time. So first of all, spiritual attuned, not something I gained on the shred, only because I already had it. Real in tune. Also, financial geek. No, they're not appreciative, Bob. I've worked for everyone years for Pacific Life. I work for people associated with the Trump organization. Oh, dear Lord. Long financial history. But I also did take off in that time after my experience. And I just was like so sick of Mar-a-Lago people and the life. I went off and taught music for about 4 years on my own then. And right after 9/11, there was a little bit of a financial dip. It was right when Isagenix started.
I forgot about 9/11. That was the other big thing that happened.
And
Time
I had
was thinking of
students
finances.
quitting voice. And of course, I was doing high-end voice, Palm Beach. I had major people, Cassidy Pope, who won The Voice, was one of mine. But it taught me I had to look at things. What am I doing differently? How do I attract? What sort of shows do I bring to the people? Sort of like what Mimi did. What I am noticing lately now, my whole business fell apart. I had some people leave Isagenix because, well, not everybody can afford that. So they're off with Mamaluca. And another just went off on her own political bend. But so I'm bringing back. And one of the unique things in our organization is they were blown away that all of my people are online contacts. Nobody's an in-person. I don't know anybody in Omaha, literally, but I've had all these reach outs. I'm getting people joining the group. I know they need to take time. There are some money ejections. So might be, how do I get them to start? Even if I get them not on the full shred, but I get them with 100 BB, get them on board to at least get that 11-day in with stuff to get them on. Because what got me in the beginning was I bought a $50 canister. I had to save up for my first 30-day pack. And it was only because Annette told me, look, you can make money, you can pay for your products if you share this, and people are going to notice. What I'm noticing now is when I'm doing lives and those videos, I've had reach out. It hits a different Facebook audience. So I'm getting reach outs from people who don't reach out on my posts, but are seeing me mention ERSHRED in the video. And they're like, what's that? So those things are huge. I just want to throw that out, that Facebook matrix works sort of weird. Videos get different audiences than posts, like Mimi's noticing with reels. But sometimes they take time. So I just wanted to throw that out. I guess I'm a positive person. And Allie, I'm also spring cleaning, which is why I can't dive deep as I want this weekend. It's a huge thing for me to create. I'm missing my sacred space, my altar, my things like that. But I always thought, I used to say, I joke with my team at work, spiritual sage. I literally will send them virtual sage. It is what you make of it. Mercury retrograde will only get you if you let it. And I just wanted to leave that with you, Bob.
That's awesome. Well, we are at the top of the hour. We could go on forever with these topics. I just wanted to leave you all with just one thought, and that is we have an immensely positive, happy, excited, energized community. I mean, and it's because It's detoxing the junk out. It's getting the right nutrition in the body. It's providing ourselves with the foods that serve us. But we're all walking examples of what's possible. And what I want to leave with is we're optimistic. We don't look at in terms of less than, glass is half full. That said, my biggest lesson, the 1987 stock market crash, I was 25, turning 26. I was born on December 15th. So my wife always makes me a year older than I am, but I will be turning 61 this year, but it happens to be at the end of December. That said, as a 25-year-old, I had all these gentlemen, old guys that were big time brokers. Bob, you missed the greatest bull market of your lifetime, of our lifetime. I'm so sorry. You just got started too late. I feel terrible for you. Everybody was down in the dumps. The world's ending. And I was like, screw this shit. I go, it's not going to end. Tomorrow the sun comes up. I'm going to work. And that was the greatest thing I ever did because it built my business for one major reason. Everybody around me was in the doldrums. And I'm the one positive guy calling up and saying, holy cow, this is going to be the greatest opportunity we've had in decades. Stocks are trading at incredibly low values. I was optimistic. I was excited. I was energized. I had confidence and I had posture. Unlike my peers at the time, we're all in the dumps. Oh, woe is me. Things suck, whatever, right? Like attracts like, but if you are higher vibrating and if you're excited about life and you're energized and you're optimistic, you are attractive to others. People want what you have. They will be beating your door down. Don't forget that. So yes, the news is awful. Gasoline prices is awful. People are going to hit hard times, maybe, but we have a solution. We have a way out. And this is your opportunity because this is the great equalizer. Everybody gets whacked at the same time. The difference is your mindset and what are you going to do about it? Am I going to be the one to stand up and say, we're going to do great because I've got something, I have a solution, I'm taking action? Or do you want to be the person that folds their arms in the back of the room and says, well, yeah, I don't think that'll work or whatever. It's just a bad time, etc. Where do you want to be in 3 years or 4 years or 5 years? I want to be the person who is that magnet for change, for positive change. And we have a solution. And that's the part that I want to urge you all to do. Don't get stuck in the muck, but think about all the people who would love to feel as good as we do. I mean, that's it. And if you share your experience from a positive, confident standpoint, they're going to want to listen and take advantage. Mimi, thank you for inspiring me for your shares this evening. The reel light. This was the best training on reels I've had. I mean, you did amazing. I thought it was fantastic. So I'm going to be taking that on. I used to say I'm too old for the internet. And I told Susan Rothman, I said, you know who I recognized right away that that's just a total bullshit story I'm telling myself is Mimi is literally going out there and doing the same darn thing.
And
she's
I
not
are 64.
Yes. And I've been more technical experience with computers and technology than you've ever had, maybe. Well, probably. But
So.
you decided to take it up and you taught yourself. So I have zero excuses, Mimi, and I have that to thank you for not only being my inspiration on that, but showing me what's possible and showing us the way.
Well, and let me make one last statement because I do want to say that all last year I led with my faith statement and I stopped doing that recently for about 6 months or more. And so speaking of revisiting, I've started doing a first fruits post leading with my faith, stating something spiritual that is true to where I stand in my spiritual being. And it's actually just, it's not for anybody. It's for me to just come with authenticity the way I was a year ago. And it does make me feel better about knowing that people still see me in that way. So, you know, I'm not out witnessing, going door to door, but I do feel it's important on my end to be genuine and real with who I am. And that's a big important part of my life. So that's something I really
You've got to be true to yourself. You must
Yeah.
be authentic, and you got to be real. And I had that same conversation with Susan. I want to keep everybody on my team happy. And the reality is that not everybody on my team is like me. And I can't be a chameleon and keep everybody at peace. And I get worried about what others are thinking of me. And I'm thinking, I just got to go out and just be me. And if they don't like it, that's okay. But I'm going to be more authentic for my crowd, for the people who want to hear my message. And that's basically my goal this week going forward. Don't sweat the small stuff, but forget what people think of you. Just go out and do it, you know, in a positive way. I'm going to be a happy, positive guy, but I know that I'm not everyone's cup of tea either, right? So anyway, well, Mimi, thank you. Everybody, Allison, Sarah.
Thank you, Allie. Thank you, Sarah.
Everybody on the call tonight.
Vicky, good to see you, Brent.
This was fun. And
Allie,
if anybody
thank you
has
for being
ideas,
here. And I'm
anybody
going to get with you, by the way.
You're
sometime. It's just
welcome.
Not yet.
Thanks
that's
for having
awesome.
me.
If anybody has suggestions, ideas for this call is about our team and it's about you. And we want to provide valuable content that's going to help you get to your goals. I mean, that's really what this is all about. So I appreciate each and every one of you. Any ideas, suggestions, send me a personal message.
I actually asked Ricky about it, but it might be good maybe for next week, because I think
Okay.
others like Mimi and I might need to know this. He knows TikTok well. So does Bonnie Stahl. I
Oh,
would love to hear from both of them about TikTok. How do we do it? And maybe that could be like a half-hour opener, because
Perfect.
us old people, we don't know how to do TikTok.
I learned
So-
something about TikTok, and I'll let you speak, Ricky, but I learned something on TikTok. I thought TikTok was for teenagers and kids doing dance moves and stuff. And Dan Mays, who's my age, a little older than I am, literally is living in Colombia, building Isagenix from Medellin, Colombia. And he's all over TikTok. And he said, you won't believe internationally who's on TikTok. It's definitely not a teeny bopper thing that you see in the US, but you're going to attract a wide audience. Anyway, so Ricky, I'm sorry. I would love if you would be able to come on and share your thoughts on that.
I would love to. And you know, Bob and Mimi, you guys have already said it. The biggest thing with TikTok is be yourself and have some fun with it. There is, you know, 7 billion plus people in this world. There is going to be a ton of them that resonate with you.
There you go.
Wow.
It's just a matter of going out and finding your tribe.
Consistency is key. Just flow and let it go.
Yep.
Great
Thanks.
call, Bob. Really great call
Yes. And
tonight.
thank you,
Well,
Bob,
thank
for
you.
coming every Thursday night. I appreciate you.
Oh, I appreciate you guys. Everybody have a great night. Make it a great weekend. And next week, and Ricky, I'll be on the phone with you. We'll see if we can come on next Thursday. It'd be awesome.
I can do that.
All right, guys. Have a good night, everyone.
Have a good
Each
night.
and
Night,
every one of
guys.
you. All right. Bye-bye.
Happy cleansing.
Bye-bye.
Bye, Brent.
Bye-bye.